Grandpa the Ghost by Johanny Ortega. I was dead, but I didn't know for how long. The thorough wisp of a body gave it away. The easy movement, as swift as air, was a dead giveaway. I talked to people, and they didn't talk back. That gave it away too. But it was time that bothered me the most, for it was hard to grasp with my ghostly hands. My past and future were as abstract as a Picasso from the synthetic cube time. I didn't know where I began or ended. I was just there, in a here I did not know. When the wind shifted again, I floated. Or did it pull me? I don't know. But I went into a house with pink carnations. I wanted to smell them, but I figured a ghost without a pass was also a ghost without a nose. And so I floated, and my body broke into a million ethereal pieces through a door. A peculiar red door past the pink carnations. And there was a candle by the door. No, not by the door. Past the door and the furniture. A big TV like one I couldn't afford hung on the wall. Wait, how do I know I couldn't afford a big TV that could hang on the wall? Perhaps I'm not so abstract after all. The candle warmed me, the flame so great, it beckoned me. What was that beside it? I reached my fingers towards it, and they slipped through, not touching a thing, merely flicking the flame. You're a ghost, I told myself. But only the cat lounging on the corner of the couch heard me. He looked at me with pity before he turned his gaze to something much more entertaining outside. Some ghost I was. But I should say am, because I have no past, or at least not one I know. I leaned into the air to look at the peculiar photo past the peculiar door. It was a black and white, but the great flame from the candle made it blurry for my ghostly eyes. I hovered to the side and cocked what is construed as my face. Here is a fellow with some lines, as if he lived a long life on his face, holding on to a chubby baby with cloth diapers. His arms were tan, and the hair's golden from years working outside. His hair was curly and still black because the grays had not come yet. It was a peculiar photo because it was black and white when everything else was in color. I left the flame behind and went up the stairs because something beckoned me there. It was nice to float instead of walk. My knees would have hurt so much. I stopped and thought. How would I know? Do I know more than I think I know? Should I stop for a bit to think? But I didn't know how long I've been a ghost. Perhaps just 2 days or maybe 2 months. I couldn't stop because I couldn't track time. There's something here I need to know. Down the hallway was an open door. Light shined from the inside and cascaded down the hall. The spunky cat from long ago shimmied past me with his tail high in the air and the same nonchalant stare. He jumped on the bed next to a teenager with a game. No one looked at me, only the cat. The boy with glasses stared at the game between his hands, but his curls, black and puffed, seemed eerily familiar to the black and white man from long ago. But I shrugged. I didn't know the boy, and I turned. Perhaps I'll go smell the carnations outside and let the wind take me wherever it wants. Then I heard a heartbeat, and I stopped. I knew it was behind the closed door, the one to the right. I didn't want to know what was behind the door, but my body broke and led me through the door. It was nothing, a man and his wife in bed. The man watched the minuscule version of the TV I couldn't afford, and the woman slept. Only black curls and a big nose peeked from underneath the blankets. Her feet moved even when she slept. Her heartbeat was peculiar because it danced to a rhythm I knew. But when did I learn this rhythm? How do I know to dance? She must be hot underneath so many covers. She pushed her arm outside. It was a short sleeve with red stripes and a forearm with hairs like the black and white man. I have seen this woman before. Why do I not know more? I turned to the books piled on her side. A Hemingway, Francine prose, a dark blue epiphany with a name I did not know, and more books I never heard of. But she reads. Oh, she reads. Too much. The woman moved and turned. Then she turned again. The big nose? The cupid lips? Could it be? And as if the seconds moved back, flurries of tiny thoughts scurried in my head through my eyes. A little girl and her mama, with the floral dress, the sun coming down, the iron gate, and a book. For once, a memory landed in my mind. A tender voice from the most beautiful woman I know urged the little girl to read some more. Again, she said, pointing at another line of Spanish words. It was the longest puzzle I solved, for I didn't know if it was days or months. I remember now I screamed into the air, scratching my throat. But like long ago, nobody heard my words. The man's eyes closed as the show played on the TV I could not afford. My granddaughter tucked her hands beneath her chin and slept. I know you, I said, bending over to see her face. Wake up, I screamed with joy, finally knowing who I was and who she was. My ghostly hands grabbed the arm she left outside. Did she hear me? The little girl with the book on her lap had groaned. She shook her head and scrubbed her eyes. Did she feel my hands? Before I could think of more, her eyes snapped open and landed on my ghostly form. Papa, you died 2 days ago.